back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Endsieg for Hearts of Iron with the 1910 start date, and we are, I think, going to now start building more military factories. We're going to presume to not lose a lot of this territory right out, but we are going to stay to this sort of, well, somewhat back area here, behind the Rhine, or at least somewhat back here. I haven't watched Fox News. I don't have them. I just think maybe I have CNN, but I haven't watched it. I watched Euro, BBC News, Sky News, local news, and I get from my subscriptions. Okay, I watch a little bit of Sky News that I get over the BBC, or over the. I also watch a bit of the BBC over YouTube. But yeah, remember, Sky News. There is a difference between Sky News and Fox News, but they're basically owned by the same corporation. So yeah. Okay, we can improve our government. We have one slot left. Okay, division training time. But there was another, if not training time, military entrepreneur, division attrition. We'll reduce our division attrition. Local news, I guess, from subscriptions, local papers. Yeah. So yeah, no, Fox News really isn't this, bugbear of whatever that people talk about. And I hear a lot of it coming from various European sources. And what they get is cherry-picked elements. Now, so what they may be being told is true, but there are various new, opinion hosts on Fox News. And they're very, very, opinionated to their ideas. And I'm not saying they say anything that's untrue, but they focus on what they think is important or whatnot. Okay, that's them. Okay. We don't want to lose. No, not all of you. Just two up to there. We don't want to lose Memel. And reinforce down into there. I think Europeans, and whenever I hear, they have also a really skewed version of Trump. Because just to explain Trump a little bit to people, Trump just thinks of things. Like he's sitting there going, "Hey, it'd be nice if we sent a spaceship to Mars or something," and he just says it out loud. And he hasn't even thought it through, where presidents really should, shall we say, think things through. But he doesn't necessarily think them through before he just says stuff. And I remember back and forth with that. Oh, well, O'Reilly? Yeah, I'm a fan of O'Reilly. John Stewart, well, he's out of the business now. What am I politically? Depends on the situation, but generally a conservative would be a general. Trump makes W. Bush look smart. Well, see, this is the thing. If I remember watching an interview with the younger Bush after he was out of office, and the reason he said that, because the younger Bush was an avid reader. He read a lot, and he was really smart. But what he was constantly, he said he had the problem of, he was constantly worried about how whatever he said would be taken by other governments, friendly and enemy governments, by the people in America, by the people overseas, by the news media class. Bush was paranoid over how what he said would be taken. So he was constantly thinking about his word choice and constantly, fixated on that, if you will. And so he was having a lot of Bushisms. And you're very right. He didn't come off as being very smart, OCB. But he actually really was smart. And from other people that talk to him away from the cameras, away from being recorded, he comes off a lot smarter because he's not worried about what he's saying will be taken slightly out of context. Where, like I say, Trump just says whatever. He just like blurts it out. Hey, it would be great if we could, give everybody cotton candy. Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. Sorry, no, we can't give everybody. So everybody in the media here in the U.S., just, the major medias, and over in Europe, they take him at his word, as what he's saying is it's well thought out and it's what he's going to do. And they also take it in the most negative view possible. So, if you go and just go and look at what he actually does. Oh, well, what he says is what he's doing. No, what he actually, laws that are actually passed, regulations that are actually done, actions actually taken by the government, not what he's saying at some rally somewhere. I don't listen to Trump at his rallies. I don't care what he's saying at his rallies. They're good entertainment for people who want to listen to it. But, if he says at his rallies, we're going to invade Russia, don't think that we're invading Russia. He just said that at a rally. Now, if we're starting to mobilize troops, well, then, take that as serious. But until that happens, and so this is a lot of people that have these negatives, and this is what Ari was, time to research. Okay. Click for details, no details. Okay, I guess so we've gone down as far as we can go on that path for the moment, I guess, unless we're supposed to do other things. I don't know. And I'm not saying you need to like or you should like Trump's policies, but just don't get worried about what Trump is saying. If you go, I don't like that, well, fine. He probably doesn't mean it any. He just thought it. He was just up on the stage saying BS. I think we should stop your viewer numbers from dropping. Yeah, I know they've gone down a bit, but I sometimes have to get things off my chest. And I really do hope people don't feel they need to agree with me to be here. I know that is sort of the modern tendency. Oh, this guy's saying bad stuff. I can't hear it. Go away. I don't care. Well, I really, I say I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I've allowed one person in the Discord to have Trotsky as his icon and name. That does bother me because having the name like Trotsky is about the same as having the name like Goebbels and Goebbels' picture. I would be banning Goebbels and Goebbels' picture in my Discord for sure. I mean, so if you're an out-and-out Nazi, I don't really have time for you. If you are an out-and-out communist because of what communists believe, I think you're an evil person. I'll deal with both. I'll talk to both of the groups. If you want to watch me from either those things, fine. But if you're and I get mild socialist. Like even notice I'm not saying I'm against everything. I'm not a I'm a practical person. I'm not so one ideology doesn't just fit, if you will. There's not just a single answer there. I guess we will do this. So, and I started the politics stuff with Wilson, I know. So they did put in Wavis Bay, so that's good for this. But we're not seeing what's it. Well, whoever, Ari was saying that they've not fixed things. Well, they've not added a port for Wavis Bay here that I can see. They haven't done much other than it's owned by South Africa, and I can't tell anything there. But there should be at least a port for German Southwest Africa. Wavis Bay was the major port, and it was British. Okay, yeah. I just joined the parties 2 weeks ago, so I'm looking forward to getting active again. Well, good for you, unless it's, of course, Nazis or communists, but yeah. And so I say, well, I don't care who you vote for. I do, but I'm not trying to get you to vote my way. I'm trying to get viewers to understand viewpoints that I think are important. Now, you can reject the viewpoints that I'm trying to. It's important to vote. Well, it's important for people who are well informed to vote. There's a lot of people that aren't maybe well informed that are voting, but those that are well informed should vote, most assuredly. Okay, armament effort 2. Sinking of the Lusitania, that doesn't sound right. Fighter focus or research doctrines. We're almost through all of that. Unless we're talking much later period. Yeah, let's zoom out down here. Okay, so we have the whole, looks like somewhat standard World War II text down there. Prepare for war. Okay, we're getting close. Okay. What insufficient supplies? Oh, just one tungsten. I'm not that worried about that. And so, yeah, I guess that's would be sort of my goal, is the idea that people should understand politics, what's going on, viewpoints. So I'm not trying to convince people to think like me. I'm quite honestly not. But I am trying to get people to go, oh, that's an interesting idea. Sounds wrong, but this is where they're coming from. Because I think there's a lot of Seawolf, blockade runner, submarine attack. Okay, we'll give him the submarine. There's a lot of I don't know, misinformation, bad information, whatever you might want to talk about within the political spectrum going on. We'll leave him for more submarines. We'll give Spee. You get people to vote and care about what happens around them. The thing about communists is that they always picture themselves as the boss or the party leader and never the worker in the factory. Well, yeah, at least all the activists. You're absolutely right. Romanov, tercentenary. What is that? 300 years. Okay, 300 years. They're having a big parade, party, whatever. It's going to be gone in just a few more years. The Romanovs. What are the Austrians doing coming up here? Not that we dislike you visiting us, but what? Okay, let's look at our supplies and equipment. We're getting close to the war here. Okay, we have a lot more things. So what we need to do now is, I think, let's see, we'll add a unit of mountain divisions. Train a troop of Schutztruppe. Send out a few more places in Africa. And add a unit of Marines. Set up a second training. Oh no, there's already, never mind. Let's cancel this. We'll add a couple of, we'll add 3 units here. We have some ports guards. Okay. AI loves naval invasions. Good to know, good to know. Let's do some of these ersatz divisions. That would be good. Ports guards as just something to keep. Having naval invasions, we'll put them here in Hanover, because these guys here are sort of, you know, we may throw in military police. That costs a lot of support equipment or not. Okay, a little bit of manpower, infantry equipment, rations, yeah, we'll do that. We'll add that. They'll be weak, but there'll be something there also as occupation troops otherwise. Okay, let's see how this goes for a while. Howitzers, nice. Okay, so we're in, oh, pause. Production efficiency cap. Oh, very well. Now the other thing I think we should start doing here is don't know that armored cars are going to be much of anything, but let's get 2 factories of fighters and 2 factories of early tactical bombers set to come about. Okay, we could probably reduce our artillery production. That's probably just overdoing it. So let's cancel the production line. I know it's nice and efficient, but that'll get us, and we'll do 3 fighters. There we go. Need a lot more rubber now. How do they expect us to build without rubber? Well, I guess, see, it's, why do they do this? My God, we should just be able to trade with the Dutch for the rubber, because the Dutch will get it from the East Indies. Okay, Okay, and no, there, we want to come over here. Avoid. Avoid. Well, that'll close off anyways. Get the Dutch on our side. I played the AI just builds a lot of useless scout planes. They might be smarter now, but that happened to be okay. Very good to know. Yeah, well, you know, I don't like the way they do this. I really don't like the way they set up the Dutch. The Dutch East Indies was something of a separate administration element from in the Netherlands at home, but still, should just be able to trade with the Dutch for rubber. I don't know what the hell they're thinking of. Give the Netherlands a little bit of territory or something down here that include, you know, directly, so they can get it. Constitutionals declare war on the United States of, or United Mexican States. Okay. I really don't know that rubber was much of a bottleneck for aircraft production. Now we have 7. What? Oh, yeah, okay, we don't need 16. We'll just go with 8. Down by 1, okay. Well, let's start a new line of infantry weapons. This just looks awfully weak to me for Germany, but maybe I haven't been building up as much as I should. And the German army was really mostly already built. Okay,
Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
no, where are you going, Austrians? You come up here for a visit and then you're going back somewhere else? What the hell's going on? Yeah, they could use a few more down here. Make up your mind. Where do you want to go? Okay, we're gonna move these guys down. It's probably truly a lost cause down here, but I'm just figuring we might as well attempt some defense. It's 2 that really sort of could be defended.
Angetreten.
Do I have any of the Marine divisions in? Yes. Okay. They're coming. Okay, we can. Chief of the Army. Vision, attrition, maneuver, speed. Well, let's put Hindenburg in charge there. And we don't yet have enough. Oh, army regroup. We can have them in multiple places. No, we can have. Okay, we'll have several of these guys. It looks like. Okay, as we get the points for it. Oh, we have one plane in reserve. Yay! Two divisions of the Austro-Hungarian army are planning on getting ready to attack France. How unlike them. George I assassinated. George I of the Kingdom of Greece has tragically been assassinated today after going around Thessaloniki, at least one one pronunciation of it, without any meaningful protection force as he usually would. While out on an afternoon walk, he was shot at close range in the back by Alexandros Chichnas, who was said to belong to a socialist organization, declared when arrested that he killed the king when he refused to give him money. See, socialists, bad people. Bad people, socialists. That really should be on the German side. In this time, we don't like the British too much due to the Boer War, so it was a possibility of joining the Kaiser Reich. Interesting thought there. Again, I've recently watched the documentary that it focused on Dutch rifles, the sort of often called Mannlicher, but there are several different elements of the rifle put together. Talked a little bit about the political situation, but no, the Dutch should not go anywhere near World War One. That would be disastrous for the Dutch because, see, there's this. I don't want to call it a little thing. There was this mildly significant thing out there floating around called the Royal Navy, and could immediately shut down every bit of anything that floats that's Dutch would go bye-bye. And I know you have your tactic of submerging your nation under the water if it feels threatened, sort of like a turtle, getting inside of its shell. But they could just float over your nation, where like Germans would drown as they marched in. The British would go, oh, you're just allowing us to, get our ships in closer. So, yeah, that doesn't quite work. And the Dutch were having issues controlling the Dutch East Indies. For various reasons. And they'd already lost Sri Lanka, 100 years before now, but Sri Lanka to the British. Yeah, I think it would just be a nice excuse for the British to pick up the rest of the East Indies. Now, they might not get to hold it for long, but it would be, their protectorate. That's the one thing they should not do. But the Dutch strategy, they armed themselves up very much, and they expanded their army as much as they could during World War I, but purely as they were afraid from being invaded from both sides. They were afraid from being invaded by the Germans, not so much for territorial conquests, but because Germany may think it needs to, have a direct route out the Rhine into the ocean. But they were also worried about war with the British, in that if the British either tried to, invade to shut off trade that's going through the Netherlands, because they were massively trading with the Germans during the war. They were trading with both sides, but they're massively trading with the Germans. That if the British were to try to cut them off, either sea blockade or invade to cut them off, they were quite afraid of that happening as well too. So they armed up, and they maintained basically a wartime standing army throughout the whole war period. They just kept it armed up and ready to fight, and with the hopes of not having to use it. So their best option is to sort of be what they were, is neutral but slightly in favor of the Germans, but not giving any sort of, special help to the Germans. Like not trying to spy for them or give them anything like special, just like, and just, do the sort of, cash for basically resources, rubber or whatever it might be. So yeah, it probably would have been, it's best for them to be neutral but slightly in favor of Germany is their best option. Where the Danes wanted to be a completely neutral. They've developed during this period now a great light machine gun, the Madsen. And they're busy selling it to people who want to buy Madsen machine guns, which does include the Russians who were fighting the Japanese a little earlier than now. So the Russians get the Madsen to fight the Japanese. But basically, once World War I breaks out, they want to remain neutral so badly, they stopped selling the Madsen to any belligerents of the war. Because they didn't want, if they sold it to the Allies, they didn't want the Germans to decide to march in and stop the sale of the guns. And they didn't, if they sold it, but then if they also sold it only to the Germans or there were small numbers that did get, and there were various schemes. There was a whole plots that some neutral party, like the Americas, were neutral at the time, were supposedly buying a bunch of, or the Swedes or somebody, ordering a bunch of Madsen machine guns, getting in the factory, and then both the Russians and the Germans trying to steal or trying to buy or both, actually, I think maybe in one case, a warehouse, both the Russians and the Germans, or maybe it was the Austrians, one of the two, buy a warehouse full of Madsen machine guns. They both buy the guns. They're both there. And they each are trying to figure out how to smuggle the same batch of machine guns out of the country. And so gave them horses in 1916 and food. Yeah, there was also a lot of food trading. But I think it was more of selling than giving. But maybe I'm wrong about if you know for sure that gave them horses. But I think it was more selling than giving. But so there was this whole ongoing subterfuge to get the Madsen machine guns out. They could have made so much money selling Madsen machine guns, but if they only sold to the Germans and the Austrians, then that would mean that they're on their side and might have negative consequences long term. So they just decided to sell basically to nobody who was at war. Still made a reasonable amount, but nowhere near the quantities of guns that they could have made. With design organizations don't quite. Okay, well, we have lots. Okay, I'm looking 800,000 men. Okay, I think we need to up our numbers of units. So let's see if we can add a mountain unit. Yeah, I know. Occupation divisions. Oh, light cruiser doing, yeah. The Villavistas declare war on the United States of Mexico. Okay, that's Pancho Villa, I guess. Constitutionalist says collapse. Yeah, there's ongoing civil wars in Mexico at this time. Constitutionalists, Maderistas, United States of Mexico, Villavistas. The Zapatas, they were in the south. Okay, national focus completed. Preparations for war. Oh, lots of manpower and some political power. Good. Yeah, the Zapatas. Oh, well, this is down here. I guess that turned over to the Zapatas. They were in the south, I know, where the Villa Listas or Pancho Villa. This is Zapata's group and Pancho Villa's group. They were up in the North Desert. This is where it gets weird because it never becomes fully Mexico. Yeah, well, I mean, this is all sort of historically. You've got the like, oh, what was it? Was it? Oh, I forget. There was. Oh, there were several. There were several factions. No, this is about accurate, Harry. I don't know about the constitutionalist here, but the sort of central government, and you have the Zapatists and the Panchavillists and others. Yeah, that's about accurate. That's not weird. That's Mexico. Okay, so we prepared for war. What's keeping completion one day? Oh, Franz Ferdinand has died. Okay, so we have to pick those after Franz Ferdinand died. Colonial defense. We'll do, well, Southwest Africa. I want to get to Cameroon actually more. So let's go there. No, it also looks like we can maybe we can't go there. War support. Extensive conscription won't let us go there now. Well, it must be, oh, at war. I guess we'll be able to do. Okay. So yeah, we'll do. We got that manpower boost. That was good. Meant like in 1919 sort of things were always one nation still around. Maybe that's how it was, but I don't think it would have lasted long. Yeah, I don't know what, because in what was it, 1916? You have Blackjack Pershing's invasion of Mexico because Pancho Villa decided to raid across the border. Was it El Paso? Or one, and they killed some American soldiers and some American citizens. And so I don't know if, I mean, he gets pretty far south. I don't know that he gets to Mexico City or not. I forget. But there's only one action. There's only, and it was, they were going after the Pancho Villa. There was only, I think it was like either 2 or 3 Pancho Villas killed soldiers, and they literally, Blackjack Pershing's whole army goes way deep into Mexico. The Mexican army either just sort of does nothing to oppose them or actively fades away. But they're not there to go after the Mexican army. So please understand that they're invading Mexico, a true invasion, not just a police raid or something. It was a real army invasion. And they go into Mexico. There's one action. I think it's like 2 or 3 Pancho Villa people are killed. Not Pancho Villa. I don't know if he was involved in it or not. And that's this is just the Mexican Civil War going on. And can anybody name who the officer? You've heard the name before. Who the officer that led the action that was the one and only combat action of the American invasion of Mexico under Blackjack Pershing, going after Pancho Villa's crew? Can anybody name that officer? Okay, division, attrition down, division organization, but we already have organization. Not that we can't have more. Up by him. Infantry division attack and defense. That's really good, Prince Rupert. Was it Trump? No, Trump wasn't alive then. Division attack recovery. He was looking like the best option here too. 15, 20. Maybe he's better. Darn. Nobody knows this. We're playing as Germany. Okay. Well, the only reason they were able to engage these Villavistas, as they're being called here, was because it was a motorized, an actual motorized. I think with Model Ts, but I'm not absolutely sure on the car makes. They were basically automobiles, like we would think of standard civilian automobiles. They were a motorized unit. Does that help? Does that help? Okay. Since some of you guys love history, his father won the Congressional Medal of Honor. So his father was a very well-known American officer, in just even more in the American Civil War. Does that help? Who do you know whose father won the Congressional Medal of Honor, the highest honor that America can give out to a military officer, and which means any children, or back in the day, of course, it was sons, got to go into West Point without having to be normally appointed. It was not a clue. Okay. Man. Okay. Well, his father's name was George S. Patton. So who now okay, his father's name was George S. Patton. Can we figure out who it was now? None of you are typing very fast. Why haven't you? His father's name was George S. Patton, Congressional Medal of Honor winner in the American Civil War. George S. Patton Jr. Come on! The American general from World War II. My God, you never heard of Patton? I mean, they make movies about him. Motorized cavalry, he was, yes. He was in the cavalry, but it was motorization. He had two Model T, I think it was Model T, two cars doing scout reconnaissance work. And they surprised some Villavistas, and he drove them back with them literally tied over his hood, the bodies. Say, we got these guys, yes. And Patton was, I don't know if Patton was actually the one that shot them, but he was in the firefight that got them, yes. That was Patton. Yeah, well, yeah, it was cavalry, but he was I would have thought motorization was also a good clue because he was into, you know, armor and motorized stuff. He was a pioneer for motorization for sure. So that was Patton. His father won a Congressional Medal of Honor in the Civil War as a very young man. And had children a bit late, so yeah, it was Patton. And did you know that Patton won an Olympic medal? Can anybody guess what the Olympic medal that Patton won his Olympic medal in? In the Olympics. Riding? Good guess. No. Pistol shooting. He was that good of a pistol shot. So you know in the movie, it didn't happen. To the best of my knowledge, it didn't happen. Because if you've watched the movie Patton, you have that scene where he's arguing with the British over lack of air support, and the Germans are over, and the British are claiming, no, we control the air, and then they get bombed by the German bomber at low altitude for the camera, and Patton dives out the window and jumps out, gets on the ground, and starts shooting up at the aircraft with his pistol. Well, that didn't happen. But Patton is probably the one American officer who could effectively like pilot snipe or shoot somebody up in a German aircraft at low level with his pistol because he was that good of a shot. So he was an Olympic medalist for pistol shooting. Villa Vista has capitulated. How could they? Pershing hasn't even invaded to take it over. Oh, well, maybe they did. That's why there's United States of America down here. Maybe we did. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan of Patton. Didn't we send... Maybe they're just still waiting up here? Yeah. Are they still coming? Oh, they're still coming. There they are. Thought we sent 2 more divisions down here. As you can tell, I don't think I'm necessarily going to win, but I'm going to try to hold out here for a while. Okay, so...
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Those are mountainous, that's mountainous, that's mountainous. Plains, but, well, the British may come. That's, it's considered forest. Yeah, forest, jungle, something like that, that would be. Plains, definitely. Well, I guess, do they not have jungle? Because this should be jungle over here. Okay, well, that's way jungle good. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe a bit more jungly. Okay, this is where the little bit of rubber we're getting in no food for some reason. I don't know why no food, but whatever. I can go over to there. These guys can go down to here. I guess if they want to try to march around here and attack directly, they could. Okay, well, we can produce, and I think right now is really looking at more military factories. Hmm. Well, more rifles, I think, at the moment. No, oh, yeah, trenches. Yes, you're right. Okay, you're right.
Ihre Befehle?
Let's thank you for reminding me. Now is the time to do so. Okay, and we will move all of these down to focus on trenches. I don't know that I'm, well, let's, okay, let's come over here, 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 and here, and here. So I really want to do an offensive push south here. So I'm not planning on holding this line. Thank you, Austria, for your additional support. But I really want to hit hard, fast down to there. But up here, I do want to hold. I'd rather have served under Patton than Montgomery. But if I got to choose many Allied leaders, I would serve under Harold Alexander, Bradley, Patton. Yeah. Now, Patton had the, of at least the Americans, of the armies after, after D-Day, he has the fewest casualties of any of the, his Third Army had the fewest casualties of an army compared to the other stuff. So, Harold Alexander, well, I know him, basically commanding here until Montgomery takes over and then commanding in British India, I think. I don't know Brian Horrocks or, well, obviously, Bradley, Omar Bradley. Bradley's good. Oh, well, good. You're changing your plans. Good idea. Good idea. Those plans were terrible, whatever they were. We come up with new ones. And what the hell is changing that? You're maybe these guys are going to go get ready to fight Italy, and these guys are now going to fight Serbia, which is a good idea to get ready to fight Serbia, but I don't know. Okay, we have a choice. Defense in depth. Sure, plunk. Let's come over something over here. I don't know. 1914. You're making me decide. Well, I guess we'll improve our artillery. Okay. Yeah, at least I'm not recognizing the name. I'm presuming British, but I'm not recognizing the name. Colonial defense in Southwest Africa, very nice. And we're also going to do that to defend down here. If nothing else, I'm hoping these will just delay any losses that we have down here and cause them trouble. Okay. Yeah, let's go here with you, I guess. We already have this colonial unit out here. Second Balkan War. Bulgaria declared war on Montenegro. Bulgaria declared war on the Kingdom of Greece, Kingdom of Serbia. Yay, everybody, go to war. Maybe get hopefully one or two more of these Marine units to just sort of, hold the islands out here a bit. Maybe, well, Kingdom declared war on Bulgaria. Everybody declares war, and that's basically sort of how it was. No, I don't know the progress of each of those wars. Let's add 2 more units. 3 more units. We'll put these guys out. There just to like make them clean up the islands or whatnot, but Bella Vista was annexed. Okay. Now, Pancho Villa was periodically basically losing all of his territory and like fleeing into the U.S. a few times, but it was only one time that he did a major raid that took over a town or small city or whatever for a day or two, and did a lot of destruction, killed some people, and went back into Mexico. And that was the sort of final time that the Mexicans, until recently at least, learned not to come and invade America. And I don't mean the mass migration invasion, I mean militarily invade America. Okay, we can do... Yeah, let's do him again. He's more than one slot. Don't know if I agree with that, but okay. So yeah, I think I'm right in thinking that Harold Alexander, it's Alexandria also for purpose was back here, commanding. He did know about the Enigma secret, but a lot of the generals or under his command prior to Montgomery taking charge did not know it. So when the headquarters, which was basically back in Alexandria, was sending information, hey, yeah, this about what's going on, don't attack. Don't know why this is so narrow right here, where it should be maybe back here. I don't know. But And so they would sort of take it, they wouldn't, the frontline commanders didn't take it seriously because they didn't know how good the information was. And so that really frustrated High Command. I think I have that right. Decisions available, anything I want to do? Not really. Yeah.
Ihre Befehle. Zuhören.
What the?
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
I'm going to click on this province here. Okay, yeah, mountainous. So
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
let's move a mountain division here.
Ausrücken.
We need another general, it looks like. Well, I think this is going to end this episode. I want to thank you all for putting up with my various talks while playing Endsieg 4 Hearts of Iron 4, the 1910 start date. So, like I've said before, I'm sure, like, subscribe, comment, love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts.